I've got the new Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, High Tides, and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette to share with you guys today. And I did do a demo with this palette, which is the look that's on my eyes. So if you want to see how these went on for me and how I got this look, you can hang tight, and that'll be towards the end of the video for you. I also upgraded my Glamcore lighting system. My old one used to be strictly cool lights kind of running on the side. This one has got like a temperature control, and I have it on the neutral setting. So it's a mixture of warm and cool light to kind of be the most neutral, so it's not too warm and too cool. So you have to let me know how it looks. I did do some testing with the palette and stuff like that, and from what I can see, it's showing up very true to color. That's kind of what I'm most concerned about. Sometimes I know I can look a little bit off in terms of color, but as long as that makeup that I'm showing, those swatches, read as true to color and texture as I can get them for you guys, I kind of feel like that's what matters for me. So you'll have to let me know how it looks. But moving on to the palette, I ordered it because I thought it looked kind of unique and like something different, and I didn't really know what to expect in terms of packaging and stuff like that. So when I got it and like pulled it out of the box, I was like, wow, this is quite weighty. And I believe that's because the cover of this does have fluid in it, which I think is super cool. It's really weighty and it feels like really nice substantial packaging, which I quite like. And then inside of there is a mirror right there. This is about as far as it tilts back. And then it says Tarte Rainforest of the Sea on there. And then inside you have got 12 eye shades. There are 8 shades that are 0.053 ounces a piece, which is a pretty decent amount of product. And then those 4 glitter shades that are through the middle of the palette, those are 0.06 ounces per shade, which again is a pretty decent amount of product that you're getting in here. The palette has got 4 kind of cream glitter shades, which are these 4 down the center. And you've got 3 mattes, which are Aloha Beaches, Beach Therapy, and South Beach, with Aloha Beaches being your deepest matte in the entire palette. These deeper blues down here have got a shimmer to them. So for my skin tone, I have got the Aloha Beaches through the crease, and I really packed it in to get that depth out of it, but that's about as dark as I'm going to be able to get with a matte eyeshadow in there, because again, that is the deepest shade. I've been noticing all over eye shimmer kind of coming back in a big way, so I'll probably end up putting these darker blues through the crease as well and blending them out. But I've used every shade in here, and I'm really happy with the results that I've gotten. Out of all the pressed glitters that I've been seeing kind of in palettes, in terms of like a really heavy pressed glitter, these are some of the best that I have seen in an eyeshadow palette. I have used them every time with my finger and just patted them over the lid, and I don't get any fallout from the glitter on my face, both in application or throughout the day, which is really impressive. And not only that, but they're really saturated glitters. I'm hoping that when I swatch them, you can kind of see just how saturated and shiny and glittery that they are. And if these glitters don't dry out, I think that these are some of the best pressed glitter eyeshadows that I've come across. I was also really happy with those matte shades. I have used all 3 of them, and they blend out really, really nice. These shades do also have a slight hint of cocoa, like that sweet smell to them, which I really like. I did bring in a matte brow bone highlight for underneath the brow because there isn't one light enough for my skin tone in this palette. I did get a bit of fallout with the matte shades in here, but it wasn't a significant amount, and it brushed off my cheek relatively easy without like sticking or leaving streaks or anything like that. So let me go ahead and get up close and give you guys some swatches. So here is the outside of the palette. You can kind of see that water. I just think it's super cool. That's about the thickness there. Then you got the big mirror, and then here are your shades. So let's go ahead and give you guys some swatches. The neutrals over here. There. And then we'll do these ones over here. I wore this really pretty light turquoise teal on the lid the other day, and it looks super stunning, and I kind of tapped that blue glitter over it. Now let's do these glitters. Again, I've used these each time with my fingers as opposed to a brush, and I feel like they work the best like that. Look at that though. I just think that's so impressive, and they transfer on the lid with your finger really nicely too. not swatching too well, but again, these are pressed glitters. So that's kind of the tapping motion that I use when I've used them. I just think they're so impressive for pressed glitters. And each time I've used them, I have used them over kind of a corresponding eyeshadow. So there are all, look at my fingers. So there are all the swatches right there. Even after swatching, look how much like glitter is on my fingers. I don't know, I just like to look at it. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Overall, I'm really impressed with this palette so far. Again, I'm really impressed with those pressed glitters. And I think if you were to incorporate some type of mixing medium, those glitters would intensify even more. And I also just want to make note that that is your lightest matte. So if you have a deeper skin tone, that might not be enough to define the crease for you. And then on the other end of the spectrum for lighter shades, there isn't one that's light enough for my skin tone for like a matte underneath the brow. But again, shimmer, all over shimmer is coming back. So now if you're interested in seeing the look that I have on my eyes right now, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. Using a Fenty Beauty 180 concealer brush, I'm going to take this Physicians Formula Full Coverage Concealer and put a little blob of that on this brush, and I'm going to use that to prime my eyes. I've really been enjoying this as a primer. The only thing is the packaging, it always squirts out too much product, so I have to wipe some off, but I'm just going to prime these from the lid to up underneath the brow. Then using a Sonia G Builder 3 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Buried Gold, which is up in the corner there. I'm going to put that on the inner portion of the lid. Then I'm going to flip that same brush over and go into the shade Galapagos, which is kind of a shimmery browny bronze, and blend it into that golden shade. Then I'm going to take a Builder Pro, also from Sonia G, and go into Aloha Beaches, which is a matte coral color. It's the deepest matte shade in the palette. And I do have some fallout, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off right away. Then using a Hakuhodo J146 brush, I'm going to go into the shade South Beach, which is a matte peach color. I'm going to start blending this out. So I'm going to go into an ABH eyeshadow called Cream. It's just a matte cream brow bone highlight shade. And I'm using that on a Esom G29 brush. And I'm going to buff that through here. Then I'm going to go back in with my J146, and I'm not going to pick up any more product, but I'm just going to kind of buff this up into that cream color to kind of diffuse it out a little bit. Then I'm just going to run this G29 back through here real lightly to blend out the edges. And then I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to go into Champagne Beach, which is the golden glitter shade. And this is crazy how these pick up on a finger. It's pretty impressive for a pressed glitter, but I'm just going to go over the lid with these, with this. And I'm going to kind of bring it up over the crease there. Isn't that pretty? Let's go into a little bit of Beach Days 2, which is the red glitter, and just kind of put it out here. These are so like kind of pigmented that they just covered up the lid shadows. Oh my gosh, that is really pretty. So there's the shadow done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. For lips, I've got Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in the shade Iconic Nude, so I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with that guy. And then to fill them in, I've got one of Becca's new lipsticks, and this is in the shade Sugar. It's their Ultimate Lipstick Love lipstick. So it's just a nude. So I'm going to fill them in with that. So there is the overall finished look using the new Tarte High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.